Welcome to telling the story cover to cover. They've made progress, right? They've entered Canaan. You have also made progress. You followed us all the way back to Canaan. Congratulations. So the story continues. Now, today I'll be talking about how they had to capture the countries, the cities, the land. Remember, they already had people living there and they were coming to take over. So, when they were done with Jericho, they now had to capture the next city, and they already had people staying in that city. Okay? Joshua sent out two people. He said to them, go and see what it looks like so we know how many of our fighting men we can send. So the people that went there came back and said, oh, it's such a small city. We don't even need to send all of our men. It's such a small city. It's even nothing compared to Jericho. Also, that was fine. So Joshua sent the men and said, now, the soldiers, he said, go fight, take over the city so we can come and take over. But guess what? Something terrible happened. The city was called Ai or I, Ai, AI. That's just the spelling, okay? Now, by the time they got into that city, it was a very small city, but the people of the city came out, fought them, killed most of them, destroyed them. The children of Israel went back to Joshua. The ones that survived. They were scared. They cried out to Joshua. Joshua, what happened? What happened? But God promised us that once we came into Canaan, we we're going to fight them and take over the whole, take over all the cities. How come this small city just defeated us? And then they cried. Joshua put his face on the ground throughout that day. He refused to eat and he cried throughout. And then God said to him, why are you crying? Isn't it obvious to you that something would have gone wrong? Joshua said, God, what went wrong? God said, anyway, I have told you people when you're going to Jericho that nobody should touch anything in Jericho, that you should totally destroy everything in Jericho and you shouldn't take anything away from Jericho. Joshua said, yes, and I gave that instruction to all of my men when we went into Jericho. God said, one of your men disobeyed me. Somebody went into Jericho, stole in Jericho, took away some things, and the person has also lied. Joshua could not believe it. Joshua said, God, how? God said, yes. Go and call all of the people. Ask them. If the person will own up, then you see that somebody actually disobeyed. So Joshua called all of them. He said, look, do you know why we couldn't defeat people in A? Because God was not with us. God didn't go with us. That was why they were able to defeat us. And God actually said one of us disobeyed him. One of us went to Jericho and stole. God had told us we shouldn't take anything from Jericho. And then they called them together. They did something called casting of lots. Finally, they found out he was a man called Achan. So when they called him out, they said, Achan, it's you. The Lord fell on you. What did you do? He started shaking. He said, I'll confess, I'll confess. Actually, when we got into Jericho, I got carried away. I saw this beautiful garment filled with, it was blinking, and I couldn't resist it. And I saw some gold and some silver coin, and I couldn't resist it. I'm sorry, so I took it. I went and hid it under my tent. They went mad. So they all ran into his tent. Actually, he had hidden it right inside his tent. He had dug up the place and he put it there. So they brought out the beautiful garment and then they brought out the money, the gold he had stolen, and the silver he had stolen. Get a lesson from Achan. Don't steal. God gave an instruction. Stealing could ruin your life. When you see something in school that does not belong to you, but you're so carried away, remember the Ten Commandments. God says, thou shalt not steal. God said to them, do not steal anything from Jericho. Destroy everything. And then he saw money. Do you steal money? When you see money, do you get attracted to money? He saw gold, he saw silver, and then he stole. Don't steal. And then he disobeyed. God gave a simple instruction. And his obedience almost destroyed everybody. Now, your disobedience could cause your parents pain. Your disobedience could cause your siblings pain. Your disobedience can actually ruin the whole of your country and community. It is that bad. Be careful. One single disobedience or one single act can actually triple into something that you won't even be able to manage. Remember Achan, when next you're tempted to take that thing that doesn't belong to you, when next you're tempted to take what God said to not take, when next you're tempted to lie, when next you're tempted to break an instruction given to you by your parents? Please. Well, they brought Achan out, and then Achan had to die. His family had to die because of the sin. That was the only way they could move on. So the ground opened up, swallowed Achan, swallowed his family, swallowed everything that he stole. The ground just opened up, swallowed them, and then covered back up. And then the children of Israel had to repent. They told God they were sorry on behalf of Achan. And that put everybody into perspective. Okay? And then they continued. Now they went back to that city and they were able to take over the city. They went back to another city, they took over the city. That was how they kept taking cities. They took cities after cities after cities. As they took the cities, they kept settling in the cities. Meanwhile, they had so many more cities to take, but they were already taking over Canaan. They had taken like 40%. They still had 60% to take. And then Joshua was getting very old then. So Joshua called them and said to them, we're taking over the cities. We still have a lot more to conquer. But remember, he brought back the law, which is now the Bible. He said to them, choose, I'm getting old and someday I'm going to die. When I die, remember that this is what has kept us. Choose life. Choose everything written inside the law. Obey God. Keep his simple instructions so that we'll be able to cover and take over all the other countries and all the other cities remaining that God had promised to our father Abraham. And then after a while, Joshua had to die. Joshua had to, he did well. He had to die. And the story did what? The story continues. Were they able to take over the other cities? What happened after Joshua died? The story continues. Shall we pray? Father, in Jesus' name, thank you for what you've taught us today. We ask that you please help us to stay away from those sins that can ruin our lives. Help us to stay away from stealing, from lying. Help us to stay focused. Help us to stay away from temptation, those things that don't belong to us, that we see and we get tempted to take. Restrain our hands, O Lord. Help us to stay committed to your word. For in Jesus' name we have prayed. Thank you. Join me. Let's see what happens after Joshua died.